Good morning. Hello, hello. Those here in person and those attending virtually. I'm Orrin Hercules, greeting you today to Unity in Harlem's Grand Rising Sunday Worship, November 30th service. As we are entering the season of Advent, we are conscious of the transforming power of faith and hope. Unity in Harlem offers you a place to rededicate yourself anew and be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Unity in Harlem is located at 318 West 139th Street in Harlem, New York. Reverend Carol J. Hunt, minister. Today's daily word speaks of faith and hope, or hope and faith. I walk by faith and live each day in hope in my heart. As Advent begins, I center myself in hope and feel my faith grow strong. I marvel at Mary's faith as I think about the mental, emotional, and physical and spiritual aspects of her journey to Bethlehem to have her child. She must have felt frightened to hear what the angel had told her, but faith allowed her to take each step with peace. Like Mary, I may wonder why I am facing certain events, and like Mary, I live in faith. As I doubt or uncertainty, no matter what is going on in my life, my faith is in the power and spiritual living given to me and renewed hope that God is with me. I am reassured that along each journey, no matter how long, the highest good is unfolding. For God alone, my soul waits in silence, for my hope is for him. Psalm 62, verse 5. Today's service is presented in the order of the opening celebration song, and we welcome our interim vocalist, Miss Nissi Victoria Toro. This is not her first time. And she'll sing Feeling Good by Nina Simone, followed by the Unity in Harlem affirmation. Then we go into preparation for the meditation, The Rose by Nissi Victoria Toro, The Rose by Bette Midler, followed by the meditation presented by Reverend LeRoy, who is also going to be the guest speaker. The musical interlude by Bob Ponce, prayer request and offering. Next, I will return with the announcements and start to conclude the service by a song of inspiration, Let It Be, and the prayer of protection and the peace song. And with that, I ask our guest vocalist to come forward. Thank you. Welcome, Nissi.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Birds flying high, you know what I mean. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Yeah, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Ooh, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. Rivers running free, you know how I feel. Blossom in the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly on the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when the day's done, that's what I mean. It's a new world and a new world and a bold world for me. Yeah. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Feeling good. Thank you.
Isaiah 55 verse 11 says, "So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it." Unity affirmations speak to the power of our words, and particularly the power of I am. And so we say this affirmation every Sunday to affirm our divine nature. The words are on the screen, and I invite you to say them with me. I am an abundant, radiating center of God's love and light for peace, healing, and inner truth for all.
A little song before meditation. Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless forsaking me. I say love, it is a flower, and you, it's only seed. It's a heart afraid of breaking, that never learns to dance. It's a dream afraid of waking, that never takes a chance. It's a one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying, that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely, and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and strong, just remember that in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies a seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes a rose.
I think she deserves another hand. Thank you. Ms. Toro done brought some jazz into the Unity in Harlem. We appreciate that so much. Thank you. And thank you, Orrin, for your introduction. Between your introduction and her singing, I might as well go home. But thank you so much. First of all, for being here and opening up as well as you did. Thank you. What I want to do right now, we're going into a meditation. And I want us to think about, because it's been Thanksgiving, and hopefully folks focus on what they can be thankful for. So as we do this meditation, I'm going to give you time to think about what you can be thankful for and say in your own words, thank you, God. Thank you, God. As I said before, I'm a type of person that we know sometimes our minds, when we're meditating, goes like a monkey mind and gymnastics. Don't try to resist it. Just let it go through. Let it pass. Let it pass. And each time it passes, it'll dissipate. It'll dissipate and allow you to focus on those things that you could be grateful for. So take the time, get the music in. And we got a new tech man here replacing Bob. We want to thank him for being here as well. So you want to get relaxed, find a place to relax, get comfortable. You can sit up, Make sure your back is straight. So let's now get in this spiritual zone and just relax.
Breathe in.
Breathe in.
And breathe out.
Breathe out. Let go.
Breathe in. Breathe out.
And as you breathe in, I want you to think about
You are centered now in the Spirit of God. The very breath that is nearer than air. There is no place to go and nothing to do. Simply breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel the depth of spirit that is yours and yours alone. Your quiet place, your secret place, the place of the Most High. Nestled in this place, there is only good. All darkness disappears, all shadows give way. And at the center there is only light. Let there be light. Let that light illumine you in the quiet, in the stillness. See now what you did not see before. Hear now with your inner ear. In your heart, let it open and release the love that is always there. Let love surround you. You are accepted. There is only love. I have loved you with an everlasting love. This is what you hear. This is what you feel. This is what you see. Feel the peace, the guidance, the comfort, the release of all those things that keep you from knowing the wholeness and oneness of spirit. Always nearer than the air we breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Let all that flow from you from this moment forward be good, acceptable, kinder, loving, forgiving. Open and receptive. You can say, I am now ready for all the good that now comes. In the consciousness of the Christ. We pray. Amen.
Wow, wow, wow. That was a pleasant surprise. You know, it felt like Reverend Carol was here. It really does. Her meditation is always good. You know, and I kind of had a dream or a desire that one day in life that she would give the meditation and I would give the sermon, the kind of connection that Olga and Butterworth have. But thank you so much, Carol. That certainly was a pleasant surprise. Before I begin my sermon today, I want to take time out and call the ancestors that have helped us build this church. And today would be certainly an appropriate day or appropriate Sunday after Thanksgiving to honor those or acknowledge those ancestors, because ancestors never die. They never die. So I want to take time out to honor those ancestors. If I miss someone, I need some help from the congregation. I want to pay homage to Akua, Ashe, to Denise, Ashe, to Jane, Ashe, to Mary Williams, Ashe, to Marie Claire, Ashe, to Barbara, Ashe. Am I missing anyone? To Richard Wright, Ashe. How could I forget Richard? And all those who have walked through our doors that are no longer on earth, thank you, Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And amen. Thank you so much. And I hope that, everybody's Thanksgiving was wonderful. I myself, I went out to Bowie, Maryland. I stayed with my cousin. She just moved out there. So I had a chance to have Thanksgiving with her and her father, which was pleasant. And we had time to take time out to be thankful. Just being here today. Thankful for being alive today. Thankful for being able to walk and talk today. Sometimes we take that for granted. And we don't thank God because God is all. With all that being said, let me get into my talk today. And it opens up, have you ever wished you could have the face, the figure, the good health or physical stamina of someone else? Have you ever looked at someone else's financial security, successful project, or well-behaved children and felt a little envy? The 10th commandment addresses an interesting desire in human beings, namely our desires for what we don't have and our lack of appreciation for what we do have. The 10th commandment, Exodus 20, which says, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife or anything that your neighbor has. This spiritual lesson directs us to learn to handle the natural human tendency to become jealous or discouraged about what other people have. In English, covet means to desire that which belongs to another. In Hebrew, the 10th commandment means don't hold as precious or as treasured possession something that doesn't belong to you. Yet most people don't think of themselves as being envious or jealous until it hits them by surprise. Think about the times in your life when you deeply longed for something or someone, when you couldn't stop thinking about how badly you wanted this person or this goal, this dream of yours. To covet is to yawn with so much longing that you feel you'll never be completed and whole unless you satisfy this desire. It explains those moments in your life when you feel upset or frustrated at how unfair life is, that you were deprived of something that someone else possesses and is enjoying. To quote the philosopher John Locke, coveting or envy is the uneasiness the mind caused, uneasiness of the mind caused by the consideration of a good desire, by the consideration of a good or desire which has been obtained by one we think could not have it before. Some examples. I never thought about keeping up with the Joneses until my younger sister bought a house much bigger than mine. And I started noticing little things that I didn't like about where I lived. I usually don't feel jealous of people except when I am listening to other parents bragging about their kids, and I begin to feel uncomfortable about my two kids, especially how unmotivated and stubborn they are. I know it's not a good idea to compare one's life to other people's life, but sometimes when stressed, I can't help wondering if other people have it a lot easier. The 10th challenge explores what to do when you notice you're comparing yourself to others and wanting what others have. Jealous thoughts could flood you with insecure feelings and painful thoughts. Most people are ashamed of having these feelings, but they are quite common. Jealousy is one of those affective states, like grief, that may be described as normal. Sigmund Freud. I want to take time out to discuss some solution. How exactly do you stop the habit of comparing and desiring what other people have? How do you live a life how do you live a life that feels more satisfying? How do you walk a fine line between desiring important goals that can and should be pursued and not obsessing yourself or becoming bitter about plans and dreams that remain out of reach? I want to go back when we talked about, when I gave you the example about I never thought I'd be keeping up with the Joneses. Sometimes what happens, we compare ourselves to other people in terms of what they have, in terms of in terms of education, materials, things that they have. But sometimes we have to look at ourselves. We have to compare ourselves to ourselves. Let's say in this situation where this person is saying that they became jealous because their sister brought a bigger house than them, you know. But if they look at themselves and they look at their progress, by that I'm saying, let's say they lived in a room, and then they moved from a room to an apartment, and then from an apartment to a home. That's a lot of progress. If you compare yourself to yourself. But if you compare yourself to other people and what they have, and it could be different circumstances. You know, they may have had other resources. They may have had more parent support. They may be in a better financial situation. You know, where you came from a situation where you didn't know who your father was and your mother brought you up and you could barely make it. You could see your mother struggling, trying to support you the best way that she can. And in certain situations, you have some folks that are in foster care whose parents, who biological parents, may be addicted to drugs. And here these particular children whose parents are addicted to drugs, they go from foster home to foster home to foster home. And in doing that, certainly has an effect on their confidence in making it in the real world. So sometimes when you measure yourself, be careful not to measure yourself according to what someone else has. Measure yourself based on yourself. Period. Also, I need to say that oftentimes what we do is that we listen to someone else's opinion. And sometimes I've heard stories, particularly from my grandmother and her brothers, with my great aunt, the teacher would tell me, you can't do this. And you want to be a doctor, you can't do that. The best you can do is be a janitor. I remember reading about Malcolm when Malcolm had told his teacher that he wanted to be a doctor. No. So what I say to you, and I remember Les Brown was sharing that one time he spoke with a stutter. He was a special ed. And some of our students, they use that as an excuse. Special ed, go erase the board. I can't do that. I'm special ed. I can't do that. You see. They're labeled and they get trapped in it and they feel comfortable in it because it doesn't motivate them to do anything. So Les Brown was sharing a story one time. He was going to meet his friend at his friend's rehearsal. So when he got there, his friend wasn't there. So the director of the play had asked him to take his friend's part and to play his friend's part. And Les Brown said, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And the director said to him, don't let someone else's opinion be your reality. Sometimes when you feel that you can't do something and people tend to bring you down, if I might, that you can't do this and you can't do that. yet still you feel you can do it. So follow your dreams. You'll run into somebody that will support you other than your parents. It might be a teacher. It might be a coach. It may be a singing instructor. It may be anyone that's saying something positive in you, about you. Because oftentimes, I know myself, in terms of teaching, what happens, I often see in students what they don't see in themselves. I look at students, I don't see where they are, I see where they can be. You see, their full potential. So once again, don't let anybody's opinion, particularly if it's negative, of you be your reality. Again, I just emphasize the fact comparing yourself to other people. Sometimes when we compare our kids to other folks, their kids may be doing academically better, but you don't look at the positive in your kids when you compare it. Your children could be more compassionate, more caring. And that's a plus. They may even be more respectful. Sure, they may not have the academics, but they may be respectful. They may have other traits that are positive. Now I want to discuss some possible solutions, as I already explained. How exactly do you stop the habit of comparing and desiring what other people have? Again, I spoke about that. In other words, you look at yourself. You see, you look at yourself. How do you live a life that feels more satisfying? How do you walk a fine line between desiring important goals that can and should be pursued and not obsessing yourself or becoming bitter about plans and dreams that remain out of your reach? Now, sometimes you need to take your envious feelings seriously and ask yourself, is this a wake-up call? Even though most of us feel embarrassed for having envious desires, in fact, the right strategy sometimes is not to suppress our jealous feelings, but to honor them and turn them into something positive. The jealous desires you feel inside might be trying to motivate you to follow through on a worthwhile goal that eluded you in the past, but still within your goal that eluded you in the past, but is still within your goal. Sometimes our parents set high standards for us, and we may not be able to meet those standards. I could speak for myself. And before I do, I just want to put this one thing in. In spiritual terms, your envious desires may be a spark of intuition, a sign that you need to pursue another goal or dream with extra passion and a new sense of purpose and commitment. Thus, you're taking control of your desires and transforming them into something positive and constructive. Now, I want to use myself as an example. I can remember coming up as a child, my folks wanted me to be a doctor. And it was literally imprinted on me. I mean, when Christmas came, they'd get me doctor toys, everything doctor, and I would check the family up and do all this other kind of stuff. So I went to school knowing I was going to be a doctor, But when I went to school in my first year, I decided that that's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was teach, because I felt God was calling me to do that. And I've touched a lot of lives in doing so. So even though I didn't pursue a medical field, I pursued a field of teaching, but it was science, so it was related. You see, it's like these young men coming up. For example, everybody wants to be a pro basketball player, a pro football player. It ain't gonna happen all the time, but you may be able to be a trainer, something that involves sports, something that you like, that'll meet your needs. Sometimes you need to let go of the longing for what you don't have and appreciate what you do have. For example, if you're feeling jealous of something another person have, you need to find some way to let go of that envy that is draining your energy and replace it with something better suited for you. Now, what happens is certainly in my life, the way I approach these folks have accomplished things, and rather than be envious, I pray that they do well. I don't think that that person that doesn't deserve it. But what I do is I let them know I really like what you're doing. Can you show me how to do this? What do I need to do to make this happen? You see, and that's how I approach things when it comes to when someone is doing something or someone has something that I don't have that I would like to have, is I approach that individual. I ask that, and first I let that individual know that what you're doing is a great thing. How can I do that? How can I do that? Sometimes you need to find a way to be patient and receptive in situations that aren't clearly or simply need more time. Sometimes you need to find a way to be patient and receptive in situations that aren't clear and simply need more time. Sometimes I've gotten things in life that, I asked for 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I'm just getting now. It could be a situation where God is telling me, you're not ready yet. It's not your time. I've often said that prayers are answered in 3 ways. Yes, not now, and I got something better. So in all those 3 ways, I think about all the gifts that I have now, that I had I received those gifts when I was younger and when I was in the valley, I wouldn't have taken advantage of them. It's like God gave it to me at the right time. It's like God gave unity to me at the right time. It's like God came to me at the right time and said, listen, this is what you want to do. You want to teach. And in one respect, it's doing the same thing. You're teaching, you're educating people. You're helping people. In one sense, you're healing people. It depends how you teach. Because I wasn't always academic in the classroom. We talk about situations, about life, about the community. We talk about letting things go, to better their life. So in a sense, as a doctor, you're bettering their health, and as a teacher, you're bettering their life. I've heard someone say, if it wasn't for teachers, there wouldn't be any careers, which is true. We point folks in the right direction. Now, what happens, and I'm getting off a little bit right here, what happens is what I taught, I would always get students, because I taught in the Black community on Long Island, and also I taught in the Black environment up at Rikers Island. But in any event, and Rikers Island it was like home to be with these young men. I didn't see them as criminals. I just saw them as young men that missed their target. Just missed your target. And you give them directions on how to realign your aim. But I wanted to say, when I taught at wine dance on Long Island, I often would get teachers, two students that teachers couldn't handle, at-risk students, you know. And I can remember a particular student that I had that a particular teacher couldn't handle. So I had a conversation, to shorten the conversation. The teacher had said to me, well, you know, you only can take horse to water. You can't make it drink. You can't make the horse drink the water. And I said, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But my theory is I can get the horse thirsty along the way. I can motivate that student in order to take that, motivate that student that their thirst for education increases. You see? So it's your perception in that case. So with all that being said, appreciate what you have, because God will give you more. There's no doubt. It really, really is no doubt. Sometimes what makes me, well, happiness comes from within, but what adds to that happiness may be different than you, you know, in a materialistic way. You might want a big house. I've talked to people, said, you know, I moved out to Long Island. I mean, I moved down to Georgia. I got a house. I got this, and, I don't live in the city with the apartment and the noise and this and that. I love it. I love it. Where you live is fine. Where I live is fine. The same person that talks, they live out there in Georgia, but each and every time, if they need some financial support, I'm supporting them, et cetera, et cetera. So one time we got into a conversation. She said, yeah, I live out in Long Island. I mean, live in Georgia. It's nice out here, this and that. I said, wherever I live, I want to live in a place where I don't have to ask anybody for support financially. That's for sure, But in any event, really enjoy what you have, And I'm going back and forth with this because what happens, even if you feel jealous or sense of envy, is normal. It's normal. But how you deal with that is you pray that that person continues to do well. And if that's a gift that God has granted to you, then so be it. Because whatever gift God has granted to you, that gift is not only for you, but for you to utilize that gift to benefit all that's around you, to benefit the universe, to benefit nature. But count your blessings, and more will come. More will come. And again, we make the mistake to compare ourselves to other people, other folks' progress. What we want to do is we want to compare ourselves to our progress. Now, I know I've hammered that in, but it's important. It's very, very important, because what you like, I may not like. And that's okay. That's okay. So with all that being said, I say ashe, and thank you very much, and have a blessed, blessed day. Oh, you know what I wanted to say before I forget? When I was sitting over here, even standing up here for a little bit, I had some cramps and stuff. And when Miss Toro sang that first song, it seemed like they dissipated. I don't know why, but they just dissipated. But thank you so much. And have a blessed Orrin. Nissi?
We have tithes and offerings.
There's no song before that?
Well, there's a musical in the beginning,
Okay.
right? And prayer.
Prayer request. I got it.
Prayer request.
Okay, at this time, we want to take time out. We have a prayer request. While you're home, you want to think about the loved ones that aren't doing well. Here in Unity, we think about our enemies that aren't doing well as well, that they either heal. A prayer request, you may have a request for folks that have been dear to you that made their transition, but we'll take this time out to do that. Okay. All right, now we're going to move. We're going to move to the next section where we're talking about tithing, offering. Yeah. It's going to come up on your screen in a minute. Three. Okay. Okay. No problem. Okay. I'm going to need help with this. You mind coming up? Well, we got people in here that'll just help you out when you need some help. That'll lead us in the tithing.
Thank you, LeRoy. As Reverend LeRoy said, we had our prayers both aloud and silently. And then the next section is thinking about the support of unity in Harlem. And this is where we think about how we can give both financially and in service. We're always in need of people coming in and helping Sunday morning and helping by being here and getting that energy. And so after we give our tithes and offering, either online or if you're here in our basket, we say together, divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive and all that I am. And so it is, and thank you. And now I'm going to turn the program over to Nissi, who is going to do a song of inspiration, and Orrin will give the announcements. And then I will be back to tell you some updated information. So thank you.
Well, as promised, I'm back with the announcements. And first, let me say that Unity in Harlem is an open, inclusive, diverse, welcoming spiritual community that sees each person as a divine creation, each person as a creation of the divine spirit. Through the study of metaphysical interpretation of the Bible and other sacred literature, you're invited to discover the divinity within you. And with that, Unity in Harlem conducts meditation at Pillars every Thursday at 12 noon. The link for that is 212-222-3470. Unity in Harlem also offers meditation at Morehouse for older adults every Thursday at 3 p.m. and Thursday also at 12 noon. Unity in Harlem Zoom connection is 698-428-2725. And by phone, the number is 929-205-6099, both with a passcode of 777-7777. There's a new study group on Monday with Kwesi Thomas, studying The Sacred Secrets by Paula Goodwin. And that's at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. On Tuesday, the study group, we're studying the book Finding Yourself in Transition by Robert Brummett. That's at 6 to 8 p.m. On Friday, Unity in Harlem Prayer Circle calls you to relax in the comfort of prayer. And that's from 6 to 7 p.m. Anyone wishing to speak to the minister about a personal matter, feel free to call 646-481-1844. The theme for December is I shall call him. December 7th, My Fullness of Time, a holiday workshop on December 10th and December 14th. Create Your Legacy. December 14th is My Mystery. And with that, we'll have Nissi. And, before that, Annette will come and give you some information that I don't have. Thank you.
Thank you, Orrin. Thank you very, very much. I guess my information will be bittersweet. Thanks. Will be bittersweet. Bitter because we have somebody who's retiring, but sweet because, as someone said to me, she'll be redirecting her ministerial energies. As you know, Unity in Harlem Search Committee had been interviewing for a new minister because Reverend Carol J. Hunt, after much thought and meditation, had decided to retire her tenure at Unity in Harlem, which she named from Harlem Center for Practical Christianity. And some of what I'm saying will be on the screen. Reverend Carol has decided her retirement date to be Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. She will retire from regular Sunday service talks. However, the current study group's reading of the metaphysical text, Finding Yourself in Transition, will continue to be hosted by Reverend Carol until the book's conclusion. And as the weeks of December roll on, updated information will be coming as Reverend Carol shares her redirected ministerial energies. And we will be excited to hear her new plans and to show her our support. So I thank you for your attention, both here and online. And this is from the Board of Trustees, Annette Purnell, President, Kwesi Thomas Williams, Vice President, Nancy Causey, Secretary, and Ann Stenson, Treasurer. So thank you, and I will turn the service back over to Nissi. I know we both said Nissi, Nissi like 2 or 3 times, but now for real, she's coming and you will hear her lovely voice again. So thank you, Nissi.
Thank you for joining us. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. For a really break.
Very, very good. Very good. Just to piggyback real quick in terms of what Orrin was talking about, you know, the fact that we are an expression of God and we need to demonstrate that every day. You know, everybody got to live, everybody got to die, but not everybody lives in the spirit. And that's what we got to do. And with that being said, we want to say the prayer of protection. Am I correct? I got a thumbs up. It's there on the board. I invite you to say it with me. The prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God unfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over piece where we sing the peace song. See, I gave her the mic.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let
there be peace on earth, and let it be
me. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be my joyous vow. With every step I take, let this be thy modest vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
It's the first time I sounded good that time. When I have somebody else by me, I sound real good. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the rest of the day. And I know there's some leftovers, so enjoy that too. Eat well, and God bless you. Unity says, God bless you. Have a blessed day.